I'm Paul, please listen to my story. It's still hard to believe though. One day, I stopped by my home in the middle of work and witnessed my wife Megan cheating on me with my friend Ronald. We live in a rental apartment on the first floor, and I thought I'd surprise Megan by sneaking around to the back window. That's when I saw through the gap in the curtains, their affair in full view. My mind went blank. I quietly left without them noticing, but the thing is Ronald's wedding was the very next day. And guess what? I'm supposed to give the best man speech. I thought I'd calm down and think about it, so I went to the Starbucks. Then it occurred to me, right, I should take a picture of the evidence with my smartphone, and I went back to the apartment. I was praying it was all misunderstanding. But when I got back, they were still at it. I flung open the curtains and started taking pictures. Got some clear shots. They were both frozen in shock. Moreover, since my son turning 2 this month was at home, I ended up bringing him along. I can't believe it. Even though he's still a toddler, who would cheat in front of a child. Besides, Megan is now 4 months pregnant. She's been feeling sick with morning sickness. Hardly doing any chores. I've been picking up the slack, doing most of the cooking and laundry. Even so, she finds time for an affair. What the heck is going on? I've been so stressed about this speech, finally got a draft done yesterday. I was practicing it out loud, getting all emotional and crying. Now I feel like a complete fool. How am I supposed to face everyone at the wedding tomorrow? If I put the affair photos in the wedding gift, could I get sued? I need to rethink my speech. We were invited as a family, and considering our long friendship, I planned to give a generous gift of $600. I quickly put the kid in the car's child seat, returned to my job, and then asked to leave early. In my haste, I'd left without diapers and milk, so I had no choice but to go back home. Megan acted like nothing happened, which shocked me. No word from Ronald either. It makes me wonder if what I saw was real. Anyway, there's definitely evidence in the printed out photos. I've been acting normal at home. I couldn't bring myself to eat though. We went to the wedding as planned. Megan had booked hair and makeup, so we left early. After about an hour, she came out asking,
"Do I look nice?"
Frustratingly, she did look stunning. The wedding started, and I could tell the groom was looking for me as soon as he entered the church. Maybe I'm overthinking it, but when our eyes met, I swear his face went pale. Seeing that, sadly, I felt glad I came. What shocked me more was Megan's attitude, acting like it was just any other day. When she saw the bride, she was all smiles, saying,
"What a lovely dress."
It gave me the chills. The groom Ronald, of course, looked pale and uneasy at the reception. He probably wanted to talk to me, but there was no way he was going to leave the head table. I definitely didn't go up to him either. Meanwhile, Megan was just her usual self, enjoying the food and commenting.
"This is delicious."
I was torn about the speech until the very last minute. Ronald's family and relatives were there. More than anything, I didn't want to embarrass the bride. That would be just too cruel. No, she was already humiliated, being cheated on the day before the wedding. I debated whether it was necessary to expose everything right there. Eventually, I stuck to the speech I'd planned, but added a little bit at the end. Lastly, I always thought Ronald was my best friend, but it turns out I was the only one who thought that. In fact, I discovered some truths yesterday. So, I'll be leaving with my son now. Ronald, please take good care of my wife. I couldn't look at his face while reading the speech. It hurt because he was my close friend, and I was almost crying. I didn't actually say what happened. Just that I learned the truth. So, to the bride and others, it must have been unclear what I meant. My last words could even be interpreted as me just leaving early and asking him to look after Megan. I didn't want to get sued or anything. So, I was a bit cautious there. Right after finishing the speech, I was about to leave with my son. Megan dropped a bombshell.
You're leaving already? That's sad. But I got my hair done, and I'm feeling good for a change, so I'm going to stay and enjoy myself a bit longer.
By the way, she is a lot younger than me. I'm 35, and she's 23. She's always been like this, kind of crazy. She is really pretty, tiny, with long curly brown hair, and a soft fluffy look. Everyone always says she's adorable, and she acts like it. With the age gap, I've always let her get away with anything, thinking even her angry face is cute. She's been lazy due to severe morning sickness lately, but she loves cleanliness and is really good at cooking. Our married life was normal. She'd even initiate things, saying she'd hate it if I cheated. She'd always be up, dressed and made up before me, preparing breakfast and lunch. So, I've been cutting her some slack, especially with her being sick and just asking her to take care of our son and herself. Man, I guess I still love her a lot. Thinking about all that, feeling down, I was about to head home when Ronald's brother came running after me.
Hey Paul, what's going on? Did something happen with my brother?
He is a really nice guy, but he's a bit too serious and intense for my taste. I hesitated for a moment but then decided to show him one of the photos and tell him about what happened the day before. After that, I went home with my son, played with him a lot, and went to bed early. I even blocked the door from inside so Megan couldn't get in when she came back. However, she didn't return that night. In the end, that incident led to Megan and I getting divorced. The baby she was carrying turned out to be a girl, and after she was born, I ended up with custody of both children. Megan had to pay compensation to both Ronald's wife and me, around $15,000 each. She couldn't rely on her parents financially, so she went back to working at the nightclub where she worked before we were married. She agreed to pay $150 a month, but after the third payment, she somehow paid off the rest of the expense in one lump sum. I still let her see the kids once a week. I have to admit, I still think she's pretty. As for Ronald, he ended up paying a hefty compensation of about $70,000 to his wife, as they had been together for 10 years. Since his boss was at the wedding, word got out at his company, and he ended up resigning. He tried to pursue Megan afterward, but she wasn't interested and rejected him. Oh yes, about the reason for the affair, it was like a last hurrah for Ronald's bachelor days. It wasn't like he had always been in love with Megan or anything. Megan also saw him as a friend, nothing more. They both thought it would be a one-time thing, so she didn't feel any guilt about it. Ronald panicked when he realized the gravity of the situation but couldn't do anything on the wedding day. You know what? As for Ronald's ex-wife, she's actually my girlfriend now. They were supposed to submit their marriage registration after the wedding, so thankfully, she didn't end up with a divorce record. She's been really great with my kids, and I'm thinking of making it official if her parents approve. After discovering the affair, I really doubted who the father of my kids was. My son looks more like Megan, so that worried me even more. I kept looking for resemblances to myself while playing with him. Moreover, I was worried that the baby in her belly might be Ronald's. From a DNA test, I found out they were both mine, which was a huge relief. I started dating Ronald's ex-wife because she's a childcare worker. When we were discussing the compensation over the phone, she heard my son crying and offered to help. As a single dad, taking care of a 2-year-old while working was tough, so I gratefully accepted her help, and things developed from there. She's not the pretty type like Megan but more reliable and steady. It made me think that maybe that is the kind of person I should be building a home with. I don't know what the future holds, but for now, We're working together for the sake of the kids.